You're not going out. Okay, got some, well, this is from the engine that I'm rebuilding from the machine shop. Whenever I picked them up, it's a couple of the old valves. I don't know if that's just to prove they put new valves in it, but you can tell they put new valves in it. And then it's got a couple plugs I got to put back in the heads. No big deal, which I need to work on that. Getting a little bit of a late start. It's about noon, November 10th, today, Monday. I did run a couple errands this morning, but just haven't gotten started on working. Did some tax stuff or bookkeeping and things like that. I always have to try to find time with that. I usually get that piled up, and then I struggle to every day do a little bit. It's always like it piles up, and then one day I have to spend several hours. And I don't know why I should do that. But right now we need to get started on the white 6-liter that is not starting. I still think it's a Fickum, and I forgot pliers. Oh, I got vice grips that'll work. Okay, let's see if it starts. Well, that tells us what we need to know. We know it's good, we know it's the Fickum. I'm gonna leave my extra one on there. That way if I need to move this truck, put everything back together for the most part, and send that one off to, they just had this one like a month ago or so, so whatever. Why did I pull my truck in? Well, I use my truck as a guinea pig. I have a customer with an 0304 that we replaced an alternator on. Well, first, it all started with the battery light flickering. And I checked some stuff, tried some stuff, checked over wiring, everything looked good. And I'm like, well, the only thing I can think of is it's an alternator, so we put a new alternator on it. About a year later or so, it does the same thing. And I'm like, well, I'm noticing that it can flicker when I wiggle the connector with the alternator. So let's replace that. Or that got rid of the flickering when I'd wiggle that connector. But the whole problem was after the truck sat, it was cold, and he took off to go while it's still cycling the glow plugs. He's driving it, and the alternator wouldn't at least keep up with the demand to hold the batteries at like 12 volts or the voltage, because these will not charge the batteries or do much charging when the glow plugs are cycling. I'm guessing that way it doesn't put too much of a load on the system. And so once the glow plugs were done cycling, the battery light wouldn't flicker. Well, so that was the second alternator, the first time under warranty, but the second alternator. And then, a week or two ago, he mentions it's doing it again. And I'm like, man, it can't be the alternator. It's got to be something else. So I put another alternator on it, and he says it's been good. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, is it really the alternator? So I put the alternator that I just took off his, that I need to return it for warranty, I put it on my truck. And I go to start my truck up to move it, and it's been sitting for a couple days. It's cold, and I'm moving it while the glow plugs are still cycling, so it's not really charging. And it dips down to 10 volts, and the battery light flips on. And then once it's charging, battery light, it won't flip on anymore. So there's definitely something going on with these reman. Or no, that was a new alternator from O'Reilly, a 135 amp from O'Reilly. So I don't know, I'm running into this kind of stuff a lot. Oh, I think this is the one off my truck. You can see this thing's got some dirt on it. Hell, I got some grease down here that somehow got on it. You can tell that one's been there for a while. And then we got this one, and that's the part number at O'Reilly. Made in Malaysia, made in Mexico. Well, dang, is that our issue? Anyway, you can see this thing's brand new looking. It's not been on there that long. Well, almost done. I don't need to hang that swing. I still need to hang that one. I need to get some bolts to fit up there, but my dad duty for the day, well, not really done, but my dad duty is done right there with that. Hey, welcome to Show Me Repair. I'm Chris. We are getting started by finishing up. I probably just did a time lapse of me putting this thing together, dad duties. And thing is though, is my son's still too young for one of these swings. So we're going to take some pieces from that swing and make it work with this swing, because he can work in that one. So I need to cut some links off of it. I know this is super exciting for anybody here for car stuff, but this is just what, I'm gonna bring you along for stuff that I do. That way I can get some stuff out for you guys. So, okay, I got it figured out. So we looped the bottom chain with the rubber on it to the carabiner with the threaded whatever to the original portion of the swing set. So now it'll bolt. It's not the greatest thing, but it should work. It's all metal. I just need to tighten this bolt and nut down, and then bring a socket to fit that. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to tighten those down. I got some tools up there I can use, so I'll wait. That way I know it's the right length.
There we go. Swing, swing.
Well, I've got this new upper control arm for this GMC outside, and I don't think it's going to work. And I realized this after walking past it. Let me show you what I saw. And I can't remember if I need to do the left or the right. I need to look at that, but it wouldn't matter because it's got an aftermarket upper control arm to account for the lift or whatever's on it. So I need to, that's a RC, stands for rough country. So that's either a replaceable ball joint or the whole control arm. So I need to see if that cap comes off, because that may be a serviceable ball joint. I'm pretty sure it is. Okay. It's greasable, but I don't know how that... It looks like it may press out, but I guess I just need to contact Rough Country to see what we can do. I went on their website to look and see basically if there's information on those control arms, and I don't see them sold separately. Looks like they come in the kit for this is, I think it's like the 3.5 lift, and that's probably what's on that truck. That truck's not super tall, but it looks like the control arms, whoa, are different from that to the ones that they have now. That was like a welded, fabricated one, and the new ones in the picture are like a cast or something. So they basically, it's like an upgrade over time. They've created a better product, and so I have a feeling that if we can't figure out the ball joint to replace, we'll probably have to get new control arms. Okay, I've got a list of things to do today now that that control arm won't work, and I just did a little research, and there is replacement ball joints. They're around 40 bucks, which isn't a bad price. I just have to order it. I have to get it from Rough Country or one of their suppliers. I can't get it from like O'Reilly or anything like that. The next thing is I keep my waste oil out here in tanks. I also get waste oil from a shop nearby that tractor and lawnmower dealership. I know the guy there, and so he last 2 years I've gotten 2 55-gallon barrels, and it's handy to have it in this, but I like to filter my oil before I put it into my heater. That way I don't have to clean the filters as much in that. I've cleaned it last year, so I'm going on like the 2nd or 3rd year I've had that thing, and I've actually disassembled and cleaned everything once, and I don't think I really need to do it, and I have not done it this year yet, but I've had it running. And the years prior, I would screen all my oil through paint filters, the funnel, you know, the little paper funnel with the screen on it. I'd put that in a funnel and I'd pour all my oil through that, and I went through gallons and gallons. I know I went through 2 of these 55-gallon barrels, plus I used some from that, and that's a lot of time I really don't want to do. So my idea is to take one of these barrels, make a dolly out of metal with some casters that are all terrain. So I'd like to be able to roll the barrel over to this IBC tote and into the shop, you know, through the door. And I need to clean, my plan is to get all this cleaned up here. That way it's open and I can roll the barrel next to the heater and basically pump right into the tank on the bottom. Because this tank's small, it'd be nice to have something close that I can easily just fill up. So I already purchased a pump. I think it's correct. 20 gallons per minute. I don't need anything crazy powerful. It's just a transfer pump, but it needs to be able to do oil. But I want to filter that oil. There's some pretty big gaps there, but we're not going to be showing this piece anywhere, so I think it'll do just fine for what I needed to do. I mean, I'm not going to be able, I'm going to have to weld Like I was looking at this going, okay, I need a weld probably here and back here. You know, create a good brace between the two. And then I look at this. I'm like, okay, well, I won't be able to weld that, but I'll be able to weld here and the back side. So we'll make it do. Okay, it's not pretty. Got everything welded I wanted to get welded. Now I just need the casters for this. Now onto the safe. And try to get that thing flipped. I might weld that on the floor. I've got it on this dolly. And I think I might try to lay on the floor and get that thing welded that way. I just don't know about cleaning the bottom. I'd really like to flip it over. I didn't realize how dusty that was. Okay, that's good enough. I think what I'm actually going to use to coat that bottom is a rust treatment spray. This stuff stinks, so if you're using this, it'll gag you. You want to use it in a well-ventilated area. So I'm going to spray as much as I can and then kick the fan on and step out of here. And now to get this thing up and not damage the casters, let's see if we can do that. Now, the problem I have here is that rack arm, it's slid down. So I have to figure a way to how to do this. Let's try leverage. Leverage and some blocks and a jack. Oh, okay, well maybe we gotta go this way. I'll put you guys back so you don't get hurt. I don't have workman's comp to cover you guys. Uh-oh. Oh. Almost lifted my welder up too. Okay, something's going on here. I'm gonna have to do this again. Mentally see this and picture it in my head how it's supposed to go, and this isn't going. I didn't think it out very well. That's my problem. Bong! This is a bad idea. Woo! Well, they didn't fall off. They didn't break off. So I guess our welds, why am I dragging you into this? My welds are holding. Okay, ran into town, got my casters, and I didn't want to bore you guys with more welding, but I had to weld on, what was that, like a 3.5 inch piece of angle, basically another piece of this, to each corner. That way these casters would have a better mount. I got 2 swivel in the front, 2 straight in the back. That way hopefully it tracks better, and I'm not trying to fight 4 caster wheels because that can be a pain. But the bearings aren't greasable, but they are pneumatic tires, so hopefully rolling on the grate and the gravel isn't a big deal. The casters do have a grease cert, so I'll grease those, which is kind of cool. Okay, let me flip this over and we'll see how it does. Yeah, it's a little high, but I knew it would be. So, good deal. Okay. Max pressure was 30, or is 30 psi. That makes it a lot easier to push. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what I didn't expect it to be super, super easy, but man, I just want to be able to move a full barrel and get it over, fill it up from outside. So my plan is, once I use up this barrel and the other full barrel, I really won't take a barrel off of this because I'll just take it outside, fill it up at the tank, and then bring it right back in and fill my heater. Next, this pump, the arrow, the discharge is here, pressure, suction's on the other side. And I want the suction to be, I want it to kind of loop over into there. I don't want it to be a 90. I don't want it to go straight to it because then getting it out will be tough. And then this, I think I'm gonna have a 2x4 coming off here towards me and hold the filter base over here, kind of like this. That way it will make a U or a, well, yeah, a U into the filter, through the filter, and then the discharge going to another barrel or into this barrel from the tank or into the heater would come out here, and I'll be able to be on the same side and as the switch for the pump to control that. Okay, I got all the fittings together enough. So I'd like to get this, I probably need to get a heat gun and get this warmed up. I'm sure a little bit of oil will change the way that is, but maybe it'll just work out perfect. That'll probably work fine. And maybe I need to heat the oil first. That's not cool. The pump doesn't even, Fantastic. It's a brand new pump. This pump is, I guess, seized up because I took the access cover to the actual pump side and everything looks fine. And I went to this side with the fan and I can spin this by hand and it moves freely. I guess maybe I should take the other side off and make sure that the pump spins, but it doesn't sound like the motor's even trying. There's something wrong with this because we can move that. Make it move. And it didn't want to do anything. That's probably dangerous, just in case it flung those things out, but yeah, I can move that by hand, yeah. Oh, Amazon junk. Okay, well today I got quite a bit done. I didn't get to see my pump work, my oil filtration thing. I think I'm going to order a barrel warmer as well. Because I think it will help. That pump won't have to work as hard, and possibly we won't take a chance of causing the bypass in the oil filter, if I remember correctly. Because if that engines, from the way I understand it, when the oil pressure is high, sometimes the oil filter gets bypassed until the oil can actually flow through the filter. I'll also do some research, but also heating the oil will just make things work easier, and then I think things separate a lot easier. Yeah, we got a lot done. Let's get cleaned up. Okay, got everything cleaned up, ready for tomorrow. I've got a red 24 Super Duty. Customer says that basically so many miles till empty on def, and then it'll derate power, and then he fills it up and it only takes like 2 to 3 gallons, and I think those new ones are like 8 gallons. So anyway, it's not close to being empty. So I got to figure out what's going on with that one, and then I might have an Audi to work on. We'll find out.